Welcome to Rhonda's Lovely Sparks. How are y'all doing tonight? You all, I'm laughing. Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. So I went back reviewing my other video that I did yesterday. I went live yesterday talking about guilty pleasures, right? Excuse me. And there was a part in there that I actually wrote down. So I have to clarify. And what I wrote down, I was talking about when I used to go in on weekends and take care of my clients. Okay? So I'm getting up and close and personal with you all. So, hey Lola, my night bestie's here. Hello, beautiful. Oh my God, I just love Lola. I love my Lola. She's my Lola. So, excuse me, I didn't mean to cough. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cough in your ear. So, let me tell you. I was looking at my video I did yesterday. And I said something about taking off someone's pants, and I snatched them down really, I used my hands and I snatched them down really fast, right? I think there were people there that was following me, but I had to oh no, that didn't sound right. Okay, so as when I worked on the weekends as a caregiver, and I did all things, like when I say all things, I'm talking about if I lived there full time. On the weekend, I washed their clothes, fixed their bed, took care of them 24/7. So when I say snatch their pants down, I was talking about, there was a client that I knew back in the day, and that man, he had chronic dementia. I mean, it was really, really aggressive. And it was so bad that they had him behind a door where you needed a password to get inside, right? So it was those particular clients. Clients were separated. One half was assisted living, and the other half was more severe cases, right? Violent clients who want to, run away. Severe cases, right? So anyway, they're not laughing about the severe cases, but laughing about what I'm about to tell you. So there was a man, he was the father of the owner of the program. And so no one could take care of him. No one could touch him. It was just, he was very aggressive. And they're like, here I am. I said, I'll help, because of course he needed to take a bath, and he needed fresh clothes, because they had a main issue with him, that they were never able to change his clothes or get him to take a bath. Okay, so I volunteered. I said, well, not that they asked me, but I volunteered. I said, let me try to work with him. So I went back there, and they were saying that he would always punch people. When they would try to take off his pants, he would punch the nurses. So I always thought to myself, I knew that there was a staff of nurses. You know how there's a population of, in a good environment, there's always not so good people. And it's the truth. There are people in those environments that are not so good. So what she would do, she would just snatch his pants down and would aggressively do things with him, like get him dressed, make him brush his teeth, that kind of stuff. And he was strong. And so I went back there and I would talk to him and I would say, okay, Mr. Such and Such. Okay, Mr. Such and Such. I tell you what I want to do. I said, I would sometimes act like I'm someone else with him. I said, your wife, you love your wife? He goes, yes. I said, well, your wife, I would like for you to take a bath, and she asked me to help you. Okay? And he'd go, okay. And I said, well, I need you to take off your pants. And he would take off his own pants. I say, well, I tell you what, I know you need privacy. I have always would put a towel on the floor in the shower so no one would slip. It's just a tip, for nurses. I put a towel on the floor. He'd step in there. I said, okay, did you wash, wash, wash? Do you need help for me to wash you? And he goes, mm-hmm, like a child. Mm-hmm. So I washed him down, dried him off, put on his clothes. Didn't have one problem. And so that's what I was referring to last night. And I said, take his pants off. And I don't know, I have to go back and look at it again, but I don't know if I was very clear that this was me being a nurse to a client who didn't understand, and that there were aggressive nurses and nurses that didn't have no damn sense, trying to make him do things he just didn't want to do. And someone who didn't have dementia or Alzheimer's didn't want to be treated like that either. I mean, hello. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I just wanted to clear that up yesterday, how that sounded. I looked at that and I go, oh, that doesn't look right. Welcome to Rhonda's Lovely Sparks. My bestie Lola is in the house. Hello, Lola. I just love that so much. It just makes me feel good. It makes me feel good. I see some other people in the room. I can't see who you are because I respect that privacy. I can't see who you are. But welcome. Thank you for just hanging out. Just hanging out there. And just checking it out and getting my likes up. Up, up, up. There go my likes. So I wanted to have tonight what made me come online tonight. Hello, Coyote. There go Coyote. There go Coyotes in the house. Shout out to my Cowboy Nation. Brother and sisters, we rule the world. Okay, maybe we don't rule the world, but we sure like to know that we feel like we do. So, how are y'all doing tonight? I always got to look around and do things, right? I've learned self-care. So my ears the holes in my ears I haven't wore earrings in so long. So what that means, I think my ears were trying to close up. So I put some Neosporin on there, and I need to buy some little earring studs. So I'm putting some Neosporin on my ear because it feels red, and I'm trying to put some earrings back on because it makes me feel good. And my mom, she pierced my ears when I was a little girl. You know how people today, they go somewhere and they have it done, the staple gun. Well, my mom did mine, when I was a little girl. So she had a needle on the stove, and she heated up that needle, and she put that needle right in through my ear, and that was pierced ears back then. Hello, Abram. A brilliant, blessed mess is in the house. So a shout out to a brilliant, blessed mess. A shout out to Lola. She's my Lola. And a shout out to Coyote. I enjoyed y'all last night too. I had so much fun in the chat room. It was so much fun talking to you all. I had a great time. And I know today, earlier Saturday, I didn't do I did my cartoon watch party. My husband was there, but I slept in because guess what? You and I, all of us partied really late last night. So homegirl needed to get her rest. I'm like, honey, can you take care of the watch party? I'm too sleepy. I'm like, thank you, honey. He goes, sure. Okay, thank you, honey. I just didn't want to go. I wanted to go, but I didn't want to not be there. Because, when you put so much work into movies and stuff, you want to see, as an artist and a creator, you want to see how it looks on the big screen, right? You want to see what other people feel about it. And it was Abbott and Costello, one of their first shows, as a matter of fact. Hello, everybody showing their love to one another. Yes, hello to Lola Cowboys, a brilliant, blessed mess. And Lola, I just love singing Lola's. Lola, Lola. I just like saying her name. So I saw, because you all inspire me. You don't do it back to back, but you all inspire me. I said, well, I got this new light, and you all could chat, what you all want to talk about, okay? Feel free to ask me questions. Feel free to share a thought or what's on your mind, okay? You're not interrupting with the subject matter, because most of the times when I have a subject matter, I end up changing it anyway, because something else will dominate it in a brilliant way. So I flow. You know what I'm saying? I flow with you all because it teaches me what people want to talk about, what people want to listen to. And I let you all do the lead. Tell Mr. Andre I said hello. I will, April, I will. My honey, he was watching we had a movie watch party tonight. And the name of it was called Flood, dated back in 2007. And it was so amazing. To be even a 2007 movie, it resonated with me. So Coyote said, I just want to point out that things are heating up with Israel and Iran. Is it? See, I haven't watched the news a whole lot. I'm very sorry to hear about. I think for me, I just feel bad about kids and innocent people getting hurt in this. And from what I was learning, and it enlightened me, Coyote, but the president in Israel, Netanyahu, I think he had some heart trouble and went to the hospital recently or something, right? But he's not backing down. A brilliant said, I missed it. I haven't been getting, oh, I'm sorry you haven't been getting your notifications. Sorry. Maybe you have to reboot, sign out, sign back in. That might help. And click it again. It's, y'all, YouTube is moody. You know what I'm saying? And I say that to you all so you won't feel that you are alone or it's something wrong with your system, or on this end, someone might have blocked you, or, no, that didn't happen. And I know you're probably not thinking that way, but some people do. And because there was times I went into someone's chat room, for example, April, I went into Alliance Pride chat room about 2 weeks ago. And I'm going to read yours, Calio, in a minute, okay? I'm going to read it, I promise, because I'm feeling you, what you're saying. And April, I went to Alliance Pride and I kept typing in the chat room. I couldn't, and I was typing in the chat room. It wasn't visible. So I kept trying. I logged out, logged back in. I even tried the comment section. So what is the first thing you'll think? Well, she probably blocked me. So I asked myself, I say, well, I'm working on anxiety. You don't have to log in, do you? Do you have to really chat? Do you really have to be, visible for her? Do you really need her? Will it stop my membership? No, it won't stop your membership. I was saying to Abril, no, if you sign out, sign back in, it will not stop your membership. No. And sometimes I just have to, sometimes you got to change passwords or just kind of just do some bit different things. And then, because on this end, it's, I'm trying to look. And you do have the wrench. So you do have, you do have a moderation power. So that should give you an upper level of control about things. So I just hope you can work that out. But I think it was Roland's reviews too, when she said the same thing. And then she found out she was out of town with some family members. She wasn't home trying to sign in. And whatever's happening out of town, she had to put in some other password and redo some things because she was using someone else's Wi-Fi stuff, and she was finally able to get in. So she was very aggravated about that because she wanted to be she wanted to see the cartoons, for goodness sake. That Fat Albert was playing, one of her favorite cartoons. I'm going to read what Coyote said too. Coyote says, it's sad I feel for the innocent civilians in all these conflicts and wars. Yeah, I feel really bad. And you know what I had to do too? I mean, for myself, I'm not recommending this anymore. I'm talking about what I had to do for myself, right? Because I just found myself just not being able to sleep, or it's like I wanted to take a position and write a commentary because I'm a writer as well. I wanted to write a commentary, and I thought, I don't want to write on this. I don't want to write about this. You know what I mean? I mean, I know I paused a little bit, but because it's too big, it's a lot. Why can't I read what someone else is saying and read what someone else is saying and get their perspective and learn something and educate myself, right? Some things I don't always have to have an opinion. And I just went to the place, Coyote, to say, I just hate the idea that, so many kids and stuff. And then I had to stop watching it. And usually I'm not the kind of person that stops watching something. So I'm not a scaredy cat, but I just start taking some more control in my decisions and said, me watching this, will it be any different for me to watch this next week? When Rachel Maddow comes on, when CBS Evening News, or what? Can I just not watch it once a week? Do I have to watch it every day? Do I have to watch the whole movie, the whole news? Can I just watch something just a 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and just get out of it? Or really, I don't really have to watch, because sometimes I'm hoping. The last thing I heard, Coyote, was that I heard that I thought 2 weeks ago there was something like thought they were going to do a ceasefire. That was 2 weeks ago. So that tells you how long it's been since I've really, watched it. And I don't know what happened since then. I was having the hope that it would just stop, because I feel, even me, I'm over here in America. I feel that we have war over here. Just because it's not like the movies and what you see on TV, it doesn't have to be like that. People have war from within. People have cultural wars. People have news wars. People have, music mogul wars. But there's against neighborhood, brother against brother, neighbors against, all this. It's just so much crap. So it's not just Israel and Hamas and all this I'm trying to ignore. I'm not trying to ignore that. I'm just trying to listen to my body, what's healthy for me, and just hope that something wonderful can come out of this situation. It's like with Ukraine. That bothered me a lot, So I was like, God, I was taking too much in. So let me catch up on the chat. Y'all know I love what y'all got to say. Let me catch up on the chats, okay? And keep chatting. You don't have to stop for me to catch up. Just keep chatting. I just love it. I love it. Thank you for being here. I always like rubbing my eyes and stuff because I do use an eye wash at the same time. I know y'all go, oh my God, she's batting her eyes. I know that there's cat hair. I always mention cat hair. But at the same time, if I don't take care of it now, then I have a worse issue later. So sorry about doing the eyeball thing. I'm human, y'all. Y'all used to see me always chat and go, I wonder if that girl is real. I wonder if she's a bot. No, I'm human. Got eyeball problems. Okay, let's read. So Abriel said, if I sign out or back in, will it stop my membership? No, it will not. And if there's issues, send me email. Tell me. What if I'm in live chat? Just tell me. We'll work through it together and try to figure out what's going on. Abriel says, laughing out loud at Rhonda, oh my God, I'm not kidding you. That same thing happened to me in Lions Pride chat. Right? I love Lions Pride's, that it bothered me because I assumed I was blocked and I was wrong. Exactly. So it did give me anxiety because I got in the habit, Abriel, to watch her walk because I love that. And I thought, well, that's going to inspire me to get physically, in shape. Like, let's start walking, Rhonda. Because I did have a setback about 4 years ago. And so I know that walking is the cure. Drinking water is the cure. I know I need to do that. So she motivated me a lot. So I thought, well, I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm just going to just leave. And if I see Lion's Pride in my chat, I go, okay, hi. And I'm not going to even bring it up to her, because it's something that YouTube does sometimes. And, they have so many members. And I think a lot of times they don't have enough servers because they're growing so fast. They're growing so big. And April said, that fixed me. I'll never, ever assume anything like that ever again. I know what you mean. It gave me anxiety because it was starting to give that to me. And it did, as a matter of fact, it did bother me like for 2 days because I was in habit of watching her walk and I loved how she talked. It just really helped me. And I told Lion's Pride it helped me. So what I had to do to remove myself, I just had to stop going there because if I kept going there and trying, then I would assume, oh, she's blocked me. So why? Don't think like that, Rhonda. Just leave and do something else. You know what I'm saying? And then April said, the new wars exploding got me a bit nervous, I must admit. Yes, it's real. It's real. And what makes it so real to us, because, you and I, we would watch movies and it just seems like the war movies and stuff was so long ago. We want to put it behind us, that we are moving forward, right? We like to know that we're moving forward. We like to know that we have repairs here in our country, right? We have some people that are hurting, that are missing limbs, that are broken mentally and physically because of the wars they did serve. And we want to try to catch up and try to fix that, honor them, help them, help them. They came back from war. They served our country. They served our country for wars that they didn't really support. I feel that they didn't even understand. But they represented me as an American for whatever reason. We always say, well, you're there to support our country in some form. And you go, the leaders to our country go, what the hell have y'all done to make so many people angry? You know what I'm saying? You hear my cat snoring in the back. Chadwick is snoring. But, I mean, what have you done? And, they're doing their business and whatever. And there's some things that I care about and there's some things I don't. But I'm interested. And I go, what's going on? And and the reason why I start questioning that now about the wars is because it's 2024. Have we not learned anything from the 911 planes flying into Twin Towers? Nope, it don't look like people haven't. Look like most of us have. But it looks like out there they haven't. And it just comes so close to home, and war is home too. We do have it home. And then let me catch up here. So Coyote says, unfortunately, our leaders, among others, are more interested in making money than to stopping the fight. Yeah, I mean, that's true. On a larger scale, it's always about the money. It's always about the money. And even though it's about the money, reality, our country needs money to work and perform. And I feel people in that position, they are obsessed. They're voted in to be obsessed in a way to run our country. I just don't like the idea of money is spent on something and it's not completed and it's wasted. You know what I'm saying? And then, my broke ass is over here trying to make a living and I'm paying taxes, on the government money, and I'm on, an income that is fixed. And I'm looking at, you hear people just throwing money away. And okay, and then again, there's another one of my anxiety things, how I had to work on that, how I had to work on that. And that's what Coyote was saying, unfortunately, exactly. Then April said, Coyote, your last comment, exactly. Then April said, does she know that you're blocked? I sent a message in a comment. I don't know if she knows directly. She probably doesn't. But I think it's been maybe a month now. I just had to pull away because, for being on her page because it really messed me up. I thought, you get things in your head. You're like, what did I say? What did I do wrong? And I just had to really let it go. And then I have to learn better for myself, to not let things affect me that way. It's like Rhonda, just something else. Do something else. And oh my God, Mike Aldana's and Mike Aldana's in the house. Spark Nation, rocket power. There's Mike Aldana. Welcome. Cowboy Nation is also in the house. Cowboy Nation is in the house. And Mike Aldana says, howdy, Rhonda, like current events in politics, but I do need to unplug from time to time. I consume too much of it. Yes, there was a time I just consumed too much of it, right? And my hubby, there's certain things he likes watching. Most of the times, we already know what kind of movies we will watch together, right? We will watch together. We already know. And plus the movie watch parties and stuff. But in the evenings, we'll watch always movies together. That's our time. But also I have respect for the things he likes. So there's some things he'll watch, and it will probably give me anxiety because I have this issue where I want to try to fix things, or I always have answers for something, right? And I get upset because I'm like, I know the answer, but this person on his channel, acts like they don't have any answers, but I can't get to them to tell them, you know what I'm saying? So it's that kind of anxiety. It's like, dang. Anyway, you just got to go with what makes you feel healthy, because I'm telling you, in the long run, it will affect you in a bad way. Um, and then April said, it is an accident. She loves you. I will let her know. I made a public post asking her why I was blocked, and I got it fixed, but it was embarrassing that I made the post. I love my time with her. Me too. I wonder if she really knows, and I believe she does, but I wonder if she really knows how her channel affects people. Yeah, I like people being at my channel, you know what I'm saying? But just because I'm a content creator doesn't mean that I'm a fan of someone else's work. That would be not normal. You know what I'm saying? I like her work. I mean, she does, the way she talks, the way she walks and exercises. I'm like, wow, I gotta get to that place where I could walk again like she does. I could walk, but I'll sometimes get a little dizzy, because I haven't worked out in so long. COVID made me very stagnant. Okay, let me finish reading and catch up with the chat. I wanted to point it, Cal Yodi says, I want to point out, because this is going to affect all of us in the end. We will pay for proxy wars and people die. It's sad. I think most want to live in peace. Right, Cal Yodi. And then April says, anywho, if you don't mind, I'm going to privately. Yeah, please do, April. I don't mind that. Anywho, if you don't mind, I'm going to privately ask her on our next walk so she can fix it. She modded you, and she never mods new people. So indeed, if she values you and misses you, well, she did say that she'd make me a moderator, but then she says she does take it away because at that time she wanted me to be able to post my link to get people to subscribe. So that, that doesn't really bother me about being a moderator or not. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I really respect her page, and I just didn't know what happened, but it's okay. But if you reach out to her, that would be great too, and let me know what she says. Okay, 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 okay. And so April says, Mike Aldana, big salute. And Mike Aldana says, howdy, a brilliant blessed miss. Yeah, I don't know. Just for me, I think the picture is always bigger than what we see on the news, no matter what news you watch, right? I think sometimes if we go so far to certain belief that we really don't know. We really don't know why. We really don't know how. We can read history. We can be astute, to the knowledge of understanding why things happen. But why these wars and stuff. We could become educated. You know, we go to school and the teacher gives us an F if we get the answer wrong. So we're forced to have answers that is given to us. We're forced to have answers that was given us, right? And we really don't know. I mean, the only thing I could say, how do I stabilize myself to feel balanced? Well, I try to take care of what's in my backyard, right? In my own backyard. I take time in the now, um, and I appreciate that. I try not to take on the world's issues, even our nation's issues, but I care, you know, I care. And then I try to give myself permission to say, you know, Rhonda, you don't have to know about, you don't have to watch everything. You don't have to know about everything. You know, if I'm curious, I could do the research. And then there's certain times, yeah, I'll watch it. So let me see what I miss here. So April said, if I came here and I was blocked, I would be devastated. I know, and trust me, you will not be blocked ever. I don't do that. Oh my God, no, 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 no. Trust that. I love you, Rhonda. Yes, I will let her know. We are the type of people that if you get blocked, something is wrong. Exactly. You get it. See, we get each other. I know. I thought, did I do something wrong? I mean, look, I give advice. I take advice. You know what I'm saying? I'm human. I give advice, but I take advice. And then Michael Dana says the Israel and Palestinian conflict has been going on, yes, forever. I think it was even before Christ. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see an end in sight. And then April says, Mike, that's unfortunate. Exactly, it is. It's really unfortunate. Because what this tells me, if this is going on like this, then eventually we're going to get hit by something. We're not exempt from conflict. I mean, even from knowing about these balloons that is flying over in America, over our states, and then how can we believe that, oh, no one knew? I mean, it's just a whole lot of shit going on. Just saying. It is. And something I feel that we're going to always, as people, American people, but as people, we're going to always be misled. And then April says, Mike, that's okay. And April says, Coyote, Mike, Rhonda, can you please help me? I want to understand the impact the war between Iran and Israel will have on us personally. Okay. And the Chinese spy balloon. So Mike and Coyote, please share, what your opinions are, what April was saying, because I haven't really been following through. But I can tell you that there are a lot of people here that are are protesting against the war there. They are holding the president accountable for fixing the problem. There's a lot of our Americans that are still held prisoners, and they have been letting some loose, some free, slowly, but not fast enough. I think what had happened, and I don't know, I don't want to judge 100%, but what we think Netanyahu says that Hamas, which am I right, is a terrorist group that came into Israel and opened up fire on a lot of innocent people, going into their homes, and also kidnapping a lot of Israeli Jews. Now, tell me if I'm wrong or right. I don't know. This is me watching the news at times. This is, again, me watching the news. I mean, we just have access to so much, and that's what we're being shown, what had started the conflict, even though I feel that they have been nagging each other for a very long time between the two. You know, they've been at each other's throats. They've been throwing the rock at the window. And then there's a side that's tired of fixing the window. You know, that kind of thing. So I don't know details because I don't want to get into it too deep because it is sensitive to people who are religious, who are Palestinians, who are Israelis, who are different races and cultures and religions. And then there is a conflict with that. It's a serious conflict. And you have people here, that are from the opposite side who are, planning terrorist attacks because how they feel that their people, their religion is being disrespected. So, it spills over. I don't know. I know I'm talking. Mike Aldana says complicated. Yeah, it's very complicated. I don't know. I think it always has something to do with the leader. I could just say I've never been a fan of Netanyahu, to be honest with you. I used to years ago, and that was because I was taking care of this beautiful Jewish family, and the lady who I was taking care of, they're a very wealthy family, and there she was telling me some things about it, and then things have flipped, and then it just seems some extreme things are going on. So I don't know. So Coyote said it's kind of complicated because it causes instability in the world. The big three religions come from that area, and it could lead to religious wars. It may cause our troops to get involved and can lead deaths and destruction. And then Abril says, I hate seeing innocent people forced to suffer, of course. And Coyote says they are genociding each other. Yes, yes, they are. It's huge. It's huge. It's so huge. It's so huge. It's so huge. And pretty much you summed it up. You summed it up. I mean, I think that any kind of conflict that happens in other countries will always affect America, because there is a part of a group of people that we all are together in this union around the world. Not all. There are some people who are not a part of United Nations, but what happens, United Nations is supposed to represent this group of all countries coming together. And if it's like importing and exporting, or if there's conflict or whatever, then you are obligated as a United Nations member to help, to assist, to contribute, whatever. It's supposed to be a United Nations front. Well, you see countries that have never been a part of United Nations now have joined. You see people that, because I feel that they feel that they will be threatened, especially after the war in Ukraine. So with Russia attacking Ukraine, we have a lot of things going on. But yeah, I feel that we as Americans are doing what, I think what we're supposed to do. At the same time, I feel as we as Americans, we do have an obligation because of being a part of the United Nations and the leader of the free world. It's just something that I think we as civilians really don't have any control of unless you vote and you get enough people to vote your way. Other than that, what do? You live your life, you move on with your life. And April says, thank you helping me understand that a little bit. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to. And Mike and Coyote and all of you all, it's very complicated because it's bigger than what I'm saying. I'm not speaking from historically because that goes way, 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 way back. And you have people who are inching up on territories and claiming, well, this territory is not yours. Why you're on my side? And Netanyahu's like, you kidnapped my people. You did this, and guess what? It's all out. I'm all out. All out meaning I'm not going to stop this because you've been nagging me for a long time. I'm going after you until everything's destroyed. So Netanyahu feels that there are some people, Hamas, some like ants in an ant bed, that there's some down in the ground, some hidden entities there, and he claims because he's a lot of people are losing their life. He feels, well, Hamas is using them as shields. So it's just a hot mess. And then Coyote said, our world as evolves has evolved so much with technology and information, potentially it can cause problems across the world. The U.S. is also a kind of police, and it's funded by us and our tax money. And Mike Aldana said Iran is in support of the Palestine people not able to defend themselves. Exactly. Because like you all were saying about this fight on all about religion. And people, they have inherited the DNA of death and pain, inequalities. It could be something that's happened personally to each and every one of them on either side where someone did something. You know what I'm saying? Then someone else got mad. And so what they're doing too is joining a bigger cause that they feel could help give them some, some ability to retaliate, because it's always been something going on. And I don't ignore it because it will always affect us. But again, I don't let it lead. I'm not trying to be one of those Americans that just in denial and think, oh, we got this. We Americans, ain't nothing gonna happen. No, I'm not crazy. I know that everything happens. Everything that happens overseas affects us. And how does that affect us? It's because one of our loved ones who's fighting for our country, comes back and not alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, it always affects us when we lose somebody. And we got a lot of mess too over here. It's just a big job. So Mike Aldana said Iran is in support of the Palestinian people not able to defend themselves. Right. And April says, wow, y'all, I'm so glad I was brave enough to ask y'all because embarrassingly, I didn't truly understand all the background info. I don't think most Americans do, sadly. I do too. And my husband, when he's back, you all can even ask him. He's a war historian. He's more knowledgeable than me. There's a lot of times I don't speak on a lot. I talk about it, but I make sure that I don't speak on it from a place that's going to offend somebody, yet I'm going to be true to myself. If I'm going to talk about it, then I'm going to be true. I'm not going to mislead you. But at the same time, I'm not going to be so extreme where I am offending somebody. But I think too, with this kind of situation, I think it's way further beyond just offending someone. This is something that's really horrific. It's catastrophic. And, it's like, we got people in our country who are fighting for it, and we got people in our country who are fighting against it. So April says, my mom served 28 years in the Army. I know I should know better. No, April, don't ever blame yourself or say you should know better, because I always tell people the way things happen is not like a one size fit all. It's not wired that way, and it doesn't work out that way. It just doesn't. Because times have changed, laws have changed, leadership has changed. The tit for tat, you know what I'm saying, has changed. The style and the mannerism of annoying people and aggravating people and playing with the propaganda and making things look like this when it's that. It's just very, very sad. And it's manipulation, of hearts and minds. Coyote said, and congratulations and salute to your mom, Abriel. Salute to your mother serving the Army and serving for our country. I honor her and respect her. Thank you. Thank you, Mommy. 28 years, that's a long time. And then Coyote says, Iran has some backing by Russia and others, and Israel is allied with the USA. Got to worry about nukes and world war potentially. Yeah, you do. I can say too that when there is situations like this, that people have always been concerned about the bigger problem, right? Oh my God, okay, Russia, true. North Korea, true. China, true, right? And then you go, well, I always felt that World War III will be something from something small. You know what I mean? And it does seem like most of our wars that if we won or lost, it was because of some stupidity on someone's part. You know what I'm saying? Sleeping on the shift, or because someone underestimated, the power of, Japan. I mean, they just, Vietnam, just underestimating things. And so what can we do? And that's our question, right? What can we do? Be informed, stay informed. Don't have to be overly obsessed with it because the stress can take you out. Love who's in front of you. Love your family. Love who's close to you. I love my husband. I take care of my backyard, which means I need to dust my bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Just go on with life. Because it's always going to be something between the leaders of our country, which I think Mike was talking about too. Then Abriel says, Russia scares me the most. And Abriel says, wow, now I see why we all need to have our eyes wide open, paying close attention. And then Abriel says, thank you, Rhonda. May she continue to rest in peace. Yes, resting in peace, Mom. Resting in beautiful peace. And Mike Aldana says, our political leaders prey on our fears, and we're quick to react to what's around us. Yes, Mike, and you call it psychological warfare. It's been around forever. It's still where they do manipulate the hearts and minds of people. We're the last to know about COVID. We're the last to know that we need to stand behind 20 feet instead of 6 feet. And people kept promoting, oh, we need to just stand 3 feet. Spitting difference. When I had a best friend of mine out of California, her daughter worked for the CDC, and the website is public. She told me to read the website. No, Rhonda, it's 20 feet. You understand? So they pick and choose because they feel that the way things happen, wars affect the economy. It affects people morale. It affects people where they spend money, how they spend their money. God forbid if people stop buying cars and houses and real estate. You know what I'm saying? It's all this affects, when you come from the business aspect, it affects the balance of the economy. And you hear some people complaining about economy and don't understand how economy works, because sometimes the good and the bad has to balance. And it's not a pretty picture. That's why I never wanted to run for office. I was offered, but I didn't want to, because I would get too involved in fighting what I felt in my head was right. And because you're a leader, it doesn't mean that you can't fight for what's right in your own head. That you have to fight. You have to fight what the rules are, and not all the rules are to me decent. They're not. The laws aren't all right. There's a lot of stuff that's backwards. There's a lot of stuff that's outdated. But they use the art of manipulation when it comes to politicking, when it comes to psychological warfares. Warfare, throwing flyers from the airplane and, mentally affecting people. And this is what it's about too. It's getting people emotional. I mean, we should be smart. We should react the way we need to react if we need to try to protect something, fix something, contribute to something. But at the same time, how much can you really do without going crazy? And then Coyote says, I'm simplified it really, but I simplified it really, but the world is probably already in a type of war. It's not going to what we think is as a traditional war. It's a different kind of war. It's a war. It's okay, April. It's a war through spam. It's a war through computer systems. It's a war through hacking. It's a war through, downloads, uploads, getting access to people's private information. It's different. even though, we have the ability to operate our weapons through computers. I'm gonna tell you something, boy. Those drones are impressive like a mug. I didn't realize the drones were that huge. I mean, my goodness. So we're gonna have a drone war? If you have people flying over our country with balloons, are they able, obviously, to steal information, to hack into our bank accounts and into secrets, and using that, the manipulation through the internet, because people having a fit about Twitter, and, Twitter is what, owned by China, so it's like, is it Twitter? No, TikTok. Let me get my facts right. TikTok. Having a stroke. Guess what? Get off TikTok. I mean, if you lose TikTok, and get back to like licking a damn stamp and mailing your letter to your loved ones. Might have to start doing that. Give the postman some more money. You know what I'm saying? You might have to start mailing letters again. It's probably the safer way, maybe. And April says, I try to limit my time listening to the news, but it's so hard to avoid it and not gain fear afterwards. Absolutely. I used, when I was younger, I would say in the 90s, and I couldn't believe, because I was only subscribed to, I was paying into, well, I just had free TV in the country. And then there was cable. Then I was hearing, oh my goodness, there's a 24-hour food channel. How in the world can someone watch food 24 hours? Oh my goodness, there's a 24-hour news channel. How can people watch news all day, all night? I mean, all these kinds of channels, and you go, oh my God, we do have the ability to have that as a need, to watch things, because some people are working, because some people have missed some things, because they want to catch up. It's just, our world is really feeding into us a lot of things, because guess what they're saying? There's a market for it. They're saying there's a market, right? Studies is showing them that you can make money off of that. And then, there's Lola. Did I miss you, Lola? Where I miss Lola? What did I see? Did I miss you earlier, Lola? So Lola says, sorry, but I don't watch the news. And that's probably so much better. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you. I mean, let me tell you something. I have a newspaper. And yes, I'm subscribed to newspaper. And sometimes I'll get the newspaper. Oh, okay, Lola. Sometimes I'll get the newspaper, and not necessarily I want to read about that other stuff, but I just want to see, okay, is there any opportunities in my town? Like, is there someone doing like some free spade and shots and vaccines and neuters for my pets? Is it a day for that? Is it a day? They're building a new train so we can have speed rail coming through our town. I'm like, wow, that's good. Things like that. But I try not to dig in so deep, because sometimes the editors will piss you off, so you become somebody that just wants to attack everything around them because they have political differences. You have your right to follow who you want to follow, but I do that because I've been really working on self for 4 years when it comes to politics and things like that. Politics is everywhere. There's no avoiding it. Politics is in everything we do, everything we see. We buy a bag of chips, it's politics, right? We turn on cable, we pay taxes. That tax money that was passed and a proposition is going to go to the dominant vote. When you're walking on a sidewalk, that sidewalk at your house or your apartment, or you put gas in the car, all of that's political. So there's no avoiding it. There's no avoiding politics. So what do? You find out that there is something that you could find that good politics part, right? That political good stuff about it, right? You don't have to be in denial about it. Vote. I'm an advocate for voting. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. But I think voting is important because I think people's opinions matter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's important. So I'm going to move forward. It says, Lola says, sorry, I don't watch the news. And then Mike Aldana says, a lot of my political background comes from my dad's side, political science and United States government professor. That's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it's when I've learned about politics, you all always inspire me to comment on something because I feel one of my most important things, I think, in life when it comes to learning something is learning history. And let me get me something to drink. Yum. Because history has a lot to do with why things are happening the way they are now, period. Everything has to do with history. And I feel if you don't understand history, whether bad or good, if you don't understand it, how can you fight for it or fight against it? You know what I'm saying? How can you, you could understand, oh my goodness, that's why that person has that on their bumper. This is why this person has, is very outspoken because their house burned down and the insurance policy didn't cover my insurance, so I'm going to protest against insurance companies. You know what I'm saying? Everything, I think too many people out there have fought to get us to feel comfortable as we are right now. Whatever comforts it could be, whether delivering a newspaper to my home, where the politics behind that is that the newspaper refused to deliver politics to my house. Okay? And I was very frustrated. I was not going to let that go. Now, will I say and understand that where I live has been profiled? Yes. Will I say with my husband and I moving here that we have changed the culture for better? Yes. You see what I'm saying? Something happened years and years ago where someone was delivering food and got beat up so badly that they passed away. That happened years ago. The point is it happened, right? But unfortunately, when things like that happen, it affects all of us and all of us gets profiled by a zip code. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain zip code. Pizza Hut will not deliver here. Domino's will, because something happened years ago. So instead of blaming a community of people because not all the community is guilty of that, then step up your protocol, how you make deliveries. Maybe ride with two people, have a camera, just change some protocols. But don't punish everybody because not everybody is like that, you see? But we were able to really impact our community in a positive way. We did it where we weren't, would become a victim, of some harassment. But at the same time, we knew that most times we could clean our house, clean our patio, decorate it according to the holidays, whatever we wanted to do, and just really stay to self. Not having to talk to my neighbors about my political opinion. Not adding triggers, not opening the doors for a neighbor to judge me. They're gonna judge you. But not adding something that's so personal to you, you don't really have to tell the whole world, right? Sometimes you just don't have to. I have grandbabies and my daughter, they have to walk down that sidewalk to come to my house. And I don't need them to be a target because someone, have itchy trigger fingers or because someone doesn't like, my sticker on my bumper. So we just don't put stickers on our bumpers. Not that we are afraid, to feel like we're free in some way. But when I go to the poll, I'm going to vote the way I want to vote. And it's personal and it's private. And I don't have to tell everybody that, that who I voted for and that you're wrong and tell them in their face, you're wrong. Because I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So catching up on my chat, that's the cherry on top. I love my chat. Okay, so So Coyote said, yes, that's why I'm paying attention, more attention now. Abril, am I going back too far? Um, Let me go back some more. Mike Aldana said, unfortunately, everything involves politics. This is why I love having a smaller YouTube channel, because I can pay attention to everybody. I can't imagine handling thousands of people. I can't read your chat personally. I like taking my time when I talk to people. And then Mike Aldana says, Rhonda, true. And Abril says, Coyote, yes, that's why I'm paying attention, more attention now that I know more to be, what's TBH? I'm learning. I know what it means. I forgot what it means to be TBH. And then Coyote says, history is supposed to help us. And then, okay, help us not make the same mistakes. And April says, Coyote, yes. Mike Aldana says, demographics play a big part in that, which is all sad. Yes, and Coyote, yes, Rhonda, profiling and judging others based on how bad apples is wrong, exactly. And Mike Aldana says, to be honest. It is, and and it's just really, really sad. But, we, thank goodness my husband and I are retired. We don't have to go somewhere every single day, even though sometimes he does. And that we don't have to be so involved in office politics and so involved, in that part. Because I used to work for a DA, and so I had to be in politics. I was a part of the political department, and so I had to be a part of the parades, helping my boss win his election. And I didn't realize too at the end that I became a target of the opponent. And that's a whole nother story. I don't know if I really ever want to talk about that. I might will, I might not. But it's just a bad experience for me. I had someone who was trying to tell me I did something and I didn't, then found out that, even the person who was representing me wasn't honest enough to tell me the truth. I didn't know and understand how these things happen until I got in my 40s. I didn't know that you can be a target of somebody, that you can be innocent, but if you're a target, you can be set up to go to prison and you could be innocent because you were a threat to their political party, because you were on the wrong side. I didn't understand that. So I ended up learning, about my case and about that situation, and how it had nothing to do with me, even though I was a target because I was helping someone else try to win office, and found out that other people in my department also there were, look, I set my back up, also there were threats made against them in parking lots and things like this. And this DA, he was DA for over 30 something years by career. I didn't know that back then that people were mad at other DAs. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't understand it. And then like Abra was saying, yeah, about becoming more educated and learning more about what's your surroundings. That's important. That's important to learn about what's going on in your city. You don't just want to just show up at a gas station knowing that this gas station has a history of some shady things, right? You don't want to have your grandbaby or your child in the car and then something goes down because you weren't up on probably what was happening in areas, which those things happen everywhere, not just in a profiled area. It happens everywhere. And to catch up, Mike Aldana said politics is a tricky business. And April says demographics play the biggest part, in my opinion, yes. And Coyote says, I try and look at the real issues, strong families, education, etc., is the cure instead of the vilification of, oh, I'm just in love with y'all. That was beautiful. I didn't finish the sentence because I like how you worded the vilification. A person based on religion, race, sex, etc. And April said, very important, Mrs. Rhonda. Yes. Oh my God, this is enlightening. Enlightening. That's why I tell you, if I had time, I'd like to do a live every night because I'm telling you, I get so much sometimes you feel alone in this world the way you feel. You know what I mean? You feel like, well, those voices that you really probably don't agree with, they're louder and they're advertised more. And sometimes I'll sit here and I'll feel, wow, let me just stay to myself because I don't want to create any problems. I don't need anybody targeting my family. I don't need to feel suppressed. I want to feel free. I want to feel happy. I want to be able to say good morning to my neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Without feeling, well, my neighbor's going to target me one day. I want to be able to do my country thing. Howdy! You know what I'm saying? Say hello to a stranger. I always got to tell you a story. So my hubby, and this is funny, my hubby's from Patterson, New Jersey. Okay, you got to hear this. He's from Patterson, New Jersey. So we planned a trip to go meet his family, for me to meet his family for the first time. And I kept hearing some things from his friends and family talking about a certain area, which is called Governor Street in Patterson. Okay. So anyway, when we made it to Patterson, I'm so happy. And see, I do look through, rose-colored glasses. I thank God for that. I wouldn't want to be like so paranoid about things, even though I am a realist. I'm a dreamer too. So I think I got the best of many worlds. So anyway, so I get dressed, right? We made it to Patterson and I get dressed. So I'm wearing, I wear bright colors, right? You can see right now I love bright colors. So I wore like this pretty dress with this pretty black floral leaf print, and at the bottom it had some yellow, it's some bright colors. And I had my hair do's like curly, and I'm just happy. Of course you're going to be happy, when you're flying and you're going somewhere, you're going to meet your mother-in-law for the first time, and you're in love with all these people and you never see them. So I'm like, and I had my leather boots on because it was December, and it was like a really strange December weather for Patterson. It was warm. And so I had my bright colors on, and we, of course, rented a Suburban, like a Suburban limo. But it wasn't limo long. It was just a nice, tall Suburban. Because when we travel, we like to be high. We like to sit high. We like to, be able to look around. We like to be above the traffic, basically, because, but anyway. So he takes me to Governor Street because I was determined to try this fried fish sandwich that it's supposed to be the staple of Governor Street. Fried. And I always tell people when I talk about it, I'm going to post it in my community tab so y'all can see the pictures. And I do. Y'all need to check out the pictures. So they're known for, this guy's been around probably 100 years. He has like fried fish, like hardened fried fish, perch, whiting. It's a staple. So I couldn't wait to go taste it and then go take some to my mother-in-law. Okay, so I go in there and there's this little bitty place, and there are some people standing, at the steps. And I'm like, hi, hello, how are you doing? Good day, having a good day? All teeth, bright eyes and bushy tail, right? I mean, happy to the world. I go in, and then I look to the left, and I see this woman outside the window walking up. And she's really like loud and then my husband, and I'm trying to just have a good posture and try to like really not notice, you know what I'm saying? So I'm waiting on my food and it smells so freaking good. So I'm leaving. I'm getting to the story, okay? I'm leaving. I got my hot fish across the road, and there's our Suburban. There's my leather boots and my pretty yellow dress and my bright ass smile. And I'm skipping across the street, like a 1960 movie. Get in the car. And my hubby had his best friend with him in the car. So he gets in the car, and then we drive off. And then his best friend goes, he's just dying. He's just laughing. He goes, Rhonda. Rhonda, do you know who they were? I'm going, who? Like, who are you talking about? People standing around the steps. I just said hi. And she goes, well, it's a pimp, a prostitute, and a drug dealer. It's pimps, prostitutes, and drug dealers. Well, okay. Oops. I mean, what was I supposed to say? No, say hi. Yeah. But Rhonda, they could tell. They could tell you're not from here. You could be a threat because you're coming up in a suburban. They probably thought you was somebody famous or the FBI. I go, seriously? Because I remember when I was saying, hi, hi. I remember they were really slow about responding back, and I was okay with that. And I was saying, hi, how are y'all doing? And it was a pimp, prostitutes, and drug dealers. And then Andre's close friend who's from there, they go, why did you take Rhonda over there? You know better taking her over there. I don't know if y'all heard about Fetty Wap. He's a rapper. I don't follow him, but I just heard it because my daughter was finding interest in this person years ago, so I did some research. So I think he's from Paterson, New Jersey. And then I find out Rihanna stopped at the same fish place that I stopped at. So I'm like, yay! I got a little something going on, So he was just telling me, Rhonda, just kind of clear your throat. So Lola says, let's see. So April says, so innocent girl, look, my parents really raised me sheltered. I'm 50-some years old, and there's a lot of things I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not ashamed of it. It's just I just don't know. And I'm always looking at Andre like, Andre, what's that mean? He's like, why I gotta know everything? I said, well, Andre, you come from the streets. He go, what? I didn't come from the streets. I said, yes, you did. You come from the streets. And then April said, oh my God, Lord have mercy. And then Lola says, ain't he in jail now? I don't know. And then April says, the one with the one eye. Yes, Fetty Wap. I'm like, my granddaughter is into Fetty Wap. What the hell? Here I am, not showing her my expression, trying to be an open-minded grandma, because once you close the door, then, it keeps them from opening up to you. But I ain't gonna lie. I said, girl, he ugly as hell. It just flowed out. Girl, what the hell? You like that ugly? Mike Aldana says, oblivious sometimes. I know I am. I know it. And sometimes I probably don't know I know it. You know what I'm saying? Like Andre, my hubby he would laugh at me, not in a negative way, but he'll laugh at me like, Rhonda, you really don't know what such and such mean? Like, I didn't know what freak-offs meant. I knew that I've heard about it, but I didn't know there was an official name. April's laughing. I didn't know there was an official name for it. I did freak-offs. I thought, what's a freak-off? Because I'm thinking, P. Diddy has all this great food and champagne and people dress really nice. And, okay, Beyonce was there. Prince Harry was there. It's got to be, why is all of a sudden freaky? I mean, and I'm thinking, is freaky really bad? Yeah, April says, thanks to Diddy, we know now. It's freak. I mean, I hear people use freak like it's a compliment. Then I hear people use freak as if it's an insult. And then I hear that freak, to me, a freak means you're talking about someone with a, special needs. So I get frustrated, with someone using it that way. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, my husband will look at me and he'll go, just shake his head. I said, well, educate your wife, honey. Educate your wife. He says, you really didn't know? I said, no, honey, I really didn't know. I said, how can you expect me to know? I mean, did I grow up around an environment that didn't say that? Did I hang around people that talk like that? I said, think about it. I said, then you would need to question me. Like, if I know all about that stuff, how will I know? Because I've been around it. I mean, I wasn't. I'm working my ass off. I'm in the country. I got two little girls to raise. You know, I don't want to go over by anyone's house. I want to go home after work. You know what I'm saying? So, and then April says, thanks to Diddy, we know now, right? And then Michael Dan says, Diddy should have kept all of that behind closed doors. He did. He called himself keeping it behind closed doors. He had secret rooms. So I guess, Mike, you could be saying like, okay, he could have kept it behind closed doors because maybe he shouldn't tell Cassie. But guess what? Everybody's talking about it. I mean, the thing is, do we say to ourselves, well, to me, when it comes to kids, boys, he's grooming little boys and girls, you know, eyes become open when we hear, you know, boy victims. And I'm glad it's out there because that monster, there's my opinion, is coming out, needs to go. Need to get rid of the monsters. And then April says, lady in the streets and a freak in the bed. It's not a bad thing. Right? I thought, tell my husband, freak is not all that bad, is it? Freak offs? And what's the big deal? And then, especially if you're married and in committed relationship, amen to that. Amen to that, April. Coyote said he was recording this stuff. Makes you wonder why. Was it for blackmail or was he just being dumped? Number one, you know, when people get so rich, they feel that they are, what's the word, indispensable? You know, what's it called? I don't know. What's the word? Invincible? There it is. Making up some word. Invincible? Like, I mean, it does go to their heads. Immature heads, right? I think he was definitely collecting information to blackmail people to gain power. If you don't do this for me, then I'm going to show it. You know what I'm saying? Hell, if I was on those tapes, I'd be like, damn it, show my stuff. You ain't going to have it over me. Media's going to forget about it sooner or later. Just go ahead and put my shit out there. I could just get on the news and say, I'm sorry. I just had to get my freak on, but I ain't doing it no more. I love my wife. She might leave me now, or he might leave me now, but, you know, hey, I got freaky, you know, and it happened. He recorded me. But you could take that VHS tape and shove it up your ass. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to be blackmailing my ass for the rest of my life. Maybe it was something really, obviously, really, 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 really bad. I mean, way, way beyond it. My poor little head can take, you know. And then Lola says, it sounds like he likes boys more. Sure do. And it sounds like that goes way back in Biggie Smalls' day. You know, you heard about Biggie Smalls. And I always try to have this disclaimer like, hey, I'm not, I don't like gossiping. But I'm human. I become curious about some things, right? I always told you I want to learn. You know, I want to know what's going on. I don't want to be that oblivious, even though I still end up being oblivious in certain things. But hey, if I want to read it, I got a right to see it and say, dang. They were talking about in Biggie Smalls, his lyrics, you know, there's like a lot of questionable stuff. And I don't have a problem with someone being gay. I don't have a problem with someone being LGBTQ. My problem is that when you're grooming little boys, little girls, you're abusing them, you're violating someone's privacy in that way when it comes to adults and taping them. Yeah, there's some sickening things that's going way too far. I mean, all of us, don't we know that the freak offs have been going since what I've learned about freak offs? What we've seen it on TV back in the 1930s and 1920s, you know, when they were protesting against liquor and they were, you know, trying to get rid of liquor and trying to keep liquor and prostitutes in England. You know, we've seen the movies of Dracula with, you know, prostitutes hang out in the street. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like always been some freaky stuff, right? Everybody in this one room doing some stuff. Back in the Western days, y'all, hey, you Western fans, don't be acting like you so clean, so clean. Because in Western days, there were more hoes in America than anyone else, especially out West. That's what saloons were full of. Basically, it was how things were, still are, in a lot of ways. But you know, it, it's horrible. Michael Dennis, I knew there was a reason that I never wanted to, oh yeah, I knew there was a reason that I never wanted to be in the music business. Me too, because I never got a record deal because I didn't want that kind of record deal. I could have done an album. I could have done a couple albums. I could have worked with some producers that weren't like these bigger producers out there like Stevie J and other people. Just didn't want to. I call it compromise myself because trust me, whether you feel you're good or bad, there's something you will compromise, and there's no way I was going to do that. You know, no way. And I'm not judging others who have. I'm just saying I cannot live with that. I could not. I had to make the right decisions. Lola, April said, Lola, that blew me. Most of the victims appear to be men, allegedly, but the only ones that I have pressed that have pressed charges speaks volumes to the way our society views abuse against men. Men are so much more. Exactly. Yeah, and then him using those tapes. Can you imagine with his producer? He recorded it, but guess what? Y'all, listen. He drugged them. Okay? He drugged them while trains were being ran on in these secret rooms to people who are probably not aware that whoever's in there and how many. You see? You're like, hold up. You wake up the next day, you're like, damn, I'm sore. Why am I sore back there? Why is my armpit sore? God, my ear is hurting. What did you do to my ear? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, honey, you went to P. Diddy's party and, you should have said no, thank you. But no, you went to P. Diddy's party. But again, some things are not funny. Yeah, we know that. Just think about it. It's just baffling for me. I'm not laughing at it. I'm just baffled of, okay, the thing is, think about this. He's using these drugs like he has a damn pharmacy. What kind of concoction are you mixing? Okay? What kind of are you mixing? And I know these are allegations that sends Jamie Foxx almost to his deathbed. What kind of concoction are you making that almost kills Albie Shore? What the hell? What kind of concoction is going on that you can give it to Katie Porter and they diagnose it as pneumonia? And then later on they say, oh, we found out it's not pneumonia, it's some poison, right? So it's like, what kind of ish is this son of a gun mixing where you're diagnosed with let's see, what's find the word, with a ordinary cold symptom that grows into a bacteria infection or a lung bacteria infection? Ooh, so Stevie J is another weirdo. Exactly. Okay, let me scroll up. April said less likely to press charges due to being labeled, and that is very unfortunate. And Lola says, April, right. And then April says, Coyote, my dad told me when I was young, if you want to get caught doing something, take someone with you. Exactly. Then Lola says, Stevie J, oh God, yeah, he's another weirdo. And Stevie J was married to Faith Hill. Is it Faith Hill? What's her name? Faith? Was Faith. Can't remember her last name, Faith. I know Faith. Of Faith. And that didn't last. So I was like, damn. Finally, Stevie's going to do right. Stevie J's going to finally do right. And in this mess. They're still married? I thought they divorced. Oh, they divorced? I thought they divorced. Oh. And then April says, yes, Lola, that's... Go back. So April says, yes, Lola, that's why he's riding bikes around town with around town with Diddy. He says, brilliant. He took a bunch with him allegedly. Yeah, and then April says, Coyote. Mike Aldez says, Diddy paying off people to cover his peaches. And then Coyote says, the only difference between someone who goes to bars or parties to try and drug and rape people and Diddy is money and power. Yep. And Lola says, they still are married. And then April says, Lola, all those videos have surfaced these past few days of Stevie J and Diddy. Oh, see, I haven't been keeping up with that, but really? Riding bikes around town trying to change his image. How? And I mean, I know, right? But him thinking that this is going to change his image by riding on a bike with Stevie J even makes him more suspect. When you look at his videos, P. Diddy's videos, right? I know, I know, Mike Aldana, I didn't want to say, I want to say that even though I said the R word, I was like, oh, I gotta be careful because I'm trying to be free when I speak at the same time, not feel like I'm suppressed. I'm speaking how I want to talk. A brilliant, not with Stevie J. I didn't know. I thought they divorced him and Faith. I thought that son of a gun. Look at me turn to an old woman. I thought that son of a gun. Yuck. Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, I know it's like shock value, right? Like, oh my God, I didn't know he was gay. You know, it's the shock value going around the world, right? Because he had denied it, right, for so long. However, what the denial is that how he sold himself to society as a product to trust and purchase, which I've never bought anything he did. Never did. But he sold the product, right, to America to buy. P. Diddy sold that product. So you're going to get some people that's going to believe it. They're going to feel comfortable. They're going to be bought and sold, you know, in this commercial, thought he was funny. I mean, did you all see him in, what's it called? It's a Nickelodeon? Did y'all see that? Okay, let me tell you. If y'all hadn't seen it, let me tell you. He's on Nickelodeon with these two boys. Okay? He's on Nickelodeon. I'm talking about P. Diddy. Okay. So P. Diddy's in the chair, and it's something about one of the two guys, two young boys, were asking P. Diddy, P. P. Diddy advice, right, on how they could wake him up because they can't wake him up on the sofa. So P. Diddy gives him something. I can't remember exactly what it was because I was so disgusted. And I don't, helicopter. Yeah, yeah. A daggum helicopter and said, put it in his pants. So putting the helicopter in his pants, P. Diddy, what does that mean to you? I mean, it even showed Kanye West was on Nickelodeon. How in the hell, in the first place, Nickelodeon, are you inviting people who rap about bitches and hoes, right? And invite them to a Nickelodeon show that is strictly for kids. And I go, boy, I'm doing this history, you know, research on movies and stuff that I try to produce and put together for movie watch parties. And I end up learning, oh my God, Hollywood's always been doing that. They've always hired these pervs, these people that they know have questionable pasts. They put them and mix them in with children. And, you know, I was hearing about Janet Jackson, how they were in somewhere they were working and then they were kids and that she looked out at the stage and there was nudity and there were kids there. Everybody knew there was kids there. There was a lot of nudity and stuff. So, you know, it's just disgusting. And then April says, I could not believe all people connected to him are Bible gay, allegedly. Right. I mean, if you're doing those kind of drugs, um, and I'm going to talk about that too. And then Lola, she goes, yes, Lola, I've seen it, the helicopter episode. Yeah. And then April says, sickening. And then April says, I don't know if I was more pissed at Nickelodeon or Diddy. Became very pissed at Nickelodeon because wasn't there some controversy about Nickelodeon and kids, right? It's a lot of messed up stuff. And Coyote said it's a part of the whole game with these Hollywood weirdos and other high influences uh, and some Illuminati type of crap. And I was reading something about Bible. You talk about Bible gay, and that made me think of. I remember I had a radio show and I had a lineup of like 12 different shows, and I've done radio too. So on one of my radio shows, I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. One of the radio shows had about we're talking about men, and it was a show where men had an opportunity to talk about during their life what did they do and what made them a good man today. And it was a show like that. I forgot the name of it really, but and so it was interesting when I was doing that. No, I got it wrong. Let me get it right. Okay, no, we were talking. Okay, this show I did a lot, but this show was about the down low. Okay, I got it right. The down low, and it was shows. It was back in the '90s, and so we had a lot of people called into the show, and they were talking about the down low, and found out when these people have these relationships, like these kinds of parties and stuff, that they don't see it being gay. That it is a sport. It's a sport. Can you believe someone using that as a way to justify their behavior, as a way to justify the behavior? Just keep it simple. That they F for the sport. It's a sport. And then you sometimes hear that, you find out that people will say, what, it's taken them so long to come out. It took them so long to say something about it, because I used to work with all things human struggles. I work for people recovering from drugs and alcohol. I work with women recovering from drugs and alcohol who lost their children, who we had a program to reunite them with their children, but then they had to complete the program before the judge could, give them their kids back. Everything human. Everything you could say is the yellow belly. Is it called yellow belly? Underbelly, not yellow belly, wrong word. The underbelly of society. That is the kind of people that I was helping. And what I thought was what I found in common when people waited so long to reveal or even to talk about how they were auraed, the aura. Men, women, they grow up to be in their 40s, 50s. Some of them take that to the grave. But it's nothing easy about it. And then there's not a one size fit all. It's not like, oh, well, I can do it. Well, you're not them. They're not you. And a lot of times I said in my other live, I told people that because politics wasn't in their favor. You see? The judge wouldn't have ruled in their favor. It was a different culture. It was a different way of thinking. So it just has to be the right time if someone chooses to. And sometimes, if they're lucky, it might take 20 years. It might take 30 years for someone to even feel like they want to talk about it, maybe. But it's very tough because you will have more of society that will be against you than for you. You know why? Because they're probably struggling with the same thing. So for them to deal with the guilt is that they have to blame somebody for not being responsible enough. Well, I hate you. Why didn't you come out sooner? Why didn't you tell such and such about what daddy did or what my uncle did or what my brother did or what my aunt did? It's your fault. That's what you're going to have to survive. You know, the blame game. And some people are just not strong enough because they are still dealing with what had happened and never probably got the counseling and guidance and the support system and things that they need to do the work to become better. Because no matter what, it's not anything you think you can naturally heal and restore and think that you can become better. No matter how much you read, no matter how much you study, no matter if you have a master's in psychology doesn't mean nothing if you don't put in some more work. You know, so it's tough. And we're supposed to be in a society where people are coming out and saying something about it and taking pictures of it and have evidence of things. You know, we're supposed to be in a society where people are saying, well, I have the proof now. And sometimes that doesn't work because you don't have enough money for the best attorney and or you don't have an attorney. You know, so it's all kinds of things that victims are struggling with. And if you're a victim, it's not bad. It's just something probably horrible that you're trying to find restoration and healing. It doesn't mean you're bad as a victim. How could someone be bad because they were a victim? When someone else imposed on your will and violated you. You know, so it's a lot that goes with that. I used to help a lot of people that went through that. I just paused for a minute because it just took me back into some things that I was aware of, you know, and had to deal with in life itself with someone very close to me. So it's something that how you can help somebody who's been through something like that is just let them be able to come to you when they're ready. And it looks like Casey was ready. It looks like the producer that produced his last album, Love or something like that, was ready. You know, people are coming out and saying, this is what he did to me, and I don't care if I'm going to lose my life. I don't care if I lose all my money. I don't care if I lose my job. Because somewhere out there, someone seems to help someone in that kind of distress. Something, someone, somehow. You take that leap because you could end up helping someone else who is a true victim. So Coyote says, we are in a new age. Information is readily available with the internet and cameras in everyone's pocket. It's going to be near impossible to keep these things hidden. Exactly. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, even you say, yeah, it's hard to keep them from happening. Then you find out this man or this woman, you know, kept their children in this basement for years. And you find out this woman who was Miss Internet Lady, you know, was a famous, live person on TikTok or something. She got arrested or something, and I haven't followed up on her story, but she was very famous on TikTok, and then she had her kids on there, and there were some questionable things she was doing on that show, sang on that show, and had her kids locked up. And I think now she's locked up, but I don't know what's going on with the case right now. But you still have people who have, like Coyote said, people have cell phones, people have the internet, people have the, you know, and there's still that human side that is afraid to take the step. And you have to be one strong person to make that move. You have to be one strong person. You have to be willing to have a heart attack. You have to be willing. You have to be ready for heart failure. If you're ready to go through that, if you say, well, okay, I'm going to go through this because I know it's going to affect my heart. I know something bad, it's going to affect me. If you go through that, you got to be willing to understand it's horribly painful. And hope that you have some things put in place, like some support systems to have your back, where you can walk in there brave and do and say what you got to do, because you could end up saving so many other lives. Coyote says one of her kids escaped and ran to the neighbor's house. Exactly. He was starved and dehydrated and forced to work in sun all day and then locked up. Exactly. I forgot her name. I don't need to know her name, but yes, that's her. That's her. It's horrible. I think with us talking about this, right, with us coming together and saying what's on our mind, it helps us to become stronger. And at the same time, it helps us inform each other about what's going on out there and how we feel. Because sometimes these things are so bottled up that it can really affect your health. And that I always say that my YouTube channel is a safe place, where you can come. I was so happy to see Lady Libra in the movie watch party tonight, and I saw some beautiful compliments she gave me. And she said, Rhonda, I want to tell you, thank you so much for providing a safe place for us. And that my place is that safe place. And if you feel that it's not that safe place and something is not right, please send me an email. I have an open door policy. Please tell me what's on your mind. It's held out of confidentiality there. I don't share people's information. I used to work for the government. I used to work for the state. I used to work for I always had a position where I had the what do you call it? The safe. What do you call that thing to the safe? I had that information. I had the key to open and close. I always had highly confidential information. I had the key to the courthouse. I always was trusted. That means just, the way I grew up was to keep things confidential. But if something goes so far where you have to say, combination to safe, thank you, Coyote. If there is something that's going on my YouTube or whatever, let me know. Because I have your back. Because this YouTube page I have is for us to talk, to feel like it is a safe place, and to feel good about yourself and knowing you can come here, have fun, relax, say what you want as far as what person you vote for, who you support. That's your beliefs, and you're not shamed for that, or your disability, or your size, or your complexion, or your opinion, because everybody's opinion matters. It makes us a better people. That's just how I feel. So I'm going to change my title. Instead of After Movie Party, I'm going to put on there the hot topics that we talked about tonight. And I've learned some things from you all about some more things that I was interested in. Like, I didn't know that Stevie J and Faith didn't divorce. And I learned, I was so glad to share with you the story when I went to Patterson and ended up saying hi, and they were prostitutes and drug dealers. And hello. Well, guess what? Yeah, they have a title. They do those things, but guess what? You can still say hi to them. I can still say hi. It was like, that man, my husband's best friend was with us, and he saw my face just shining and glowing. He goes, "Oh, Lord, have mercy. Andre, why did you bring her here?" Because probably could have gotten attacked because I was bright and shiny. So, thank you, Lord, for helping me. Thank you for protecting me, because I really don't know. Keep me pure, especially in your eyes. Protect me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for coming here to Rhonda's Lovely Sparks. And I want to tell you, I always have to tell you what I got going on. So y'all know Wednesdays I have the reading, I have the book readings on Wednesday. I didn't have one last Wednesday because I needed to take off a day. because Thursday I had a doctor's appointment and I just needed to rest. And that's what this YouTube is about too, is no shaming yourself. Don't feel ashamed or pressured or because you got to comply or because you have a commitment to something. That the people around you, if they really care about you, they will understand, and that I can always schedule another day. If you have that kind of life, build that around you, where you don't have to feel like, oh, I always say that someone's breathing on your neck. Someone is going to judge you, and we can work on those triggers together. Come if you want to, come to live chat. We can chat about some things. Write down at least what are your triggers, at least up to 3 if you can. If you got 2, that's fine. But we could talk about it. I am not a psychiatrist. I'm not a doctor, but I'm a mom, and I understand. I don't probably understand everything, but I learn from wanting to hear people, and I learn from understanding people. I learn from your experiences, right? I learn from that. So we have Wednesdays, book reading party, and then we have Tuesday nights. I always have on Tuesday nights, I have 1 movie. Saturdays I have 2. But Tuesday night, I did something different than I've done ever before. Remember when you used to go to the movies and there was always a cartoon? I did that. I added a cartoon. They're called cartoon shorts. I said, because I wasn't just satisfied Tuesday movies. You know me, I'm always evolving. So I wanted to do something that gave it a little oomph. You know what I'm saying? A little push, a little oomph. I said, what is it? What is it? And my little bells in my head was just a ringing and a ringing. And I was like, oh my God. Let me include a short, a cartoon short, and then include the countdown and then the movie. So what's playing on Tuesday is a classic. And I got to give you the name. Sorry if I come off weird and conspirational, Rhonda, in chat. Sorry if I come off weird and conspiratorial. Sorry. Conspiratorial. No, don't you ever apologize for that. Did you realize that conspiracy theories is, to me, is the truth hidden? Feel comfortable talking about from your third eye, talk about instinctively. Feel free to, if you got people around you is shutting you up, suppressing and oppressing you and saying, oh, shut up. You know what I'm saying? If they're doing that, then what are their issues telling you to be quiet? No, because I'm a firm believer that conspiracy theories is hidden answers. When something doesn't look right, it ain't right. It may not always be complete truth, but I do feel there's something to it. Exactly, Coyote. And think about this. How do we know what is a complete truth? Is why they will label it conspiracy theories. How do we know? Right? I mean, we really don't. Unless we get around a round table discussion and we talk about it, and we put our heads together. Like April and I was talking about one day when it came to my mind when I talked about this person that was talking about what he went through. And that we thought, oh my God, it's P. Diddy he was talking about. It wasn't Tyler Perry, but it was P. Diddy. And there was that aha moment. So trust me, I'm a believer. When you talk about it, it comes out. You know what I'm saying? It surfaces. You keep talking about it. Something's going to surface. Look, I'm not over religious, but I will tell you this. I do believe in God. I do believe in Jesus Christ. I'm not a religious fanatic. But I do believe that God gave us a brain to use. That God didn't always, or your God, okay? Or whoever your higher belief system is, right? He didn't just give us that and just be lazy with it. Think about that. He really gave us that to really, in some, just one example, for starters. He gave us that to really tune into the instincts that He has blessed us with. So to always be in denial, to always like label others, to always ignore others and deny others and, force your, negativity and all this kind of stuff and using harm on people, all these ugly things, that is created to suppress people that probably know the truth. They're using that to suppress and oppress you and get you afraid to really open up and say some things that's probably really the truth. So I'm a big supporter. I will defend you with that because I enjoy the conversation. And that's what my chat is about. It gels with me so perfect. We gel really well together. So I want to tell y'all the Tuesday movie, and we keep talking, of course. It's David and Bathsheba. It's Bathsheba or Bathsheba? Bathsheba? Gregory Peck and Susan Hayward. Y'all remember that movie? If y'all don't, come join us. It's back in 1951. It's full color. It's a remastered movie. So it's brilliant color. It's by MGM. And there's a cartoon short, like a cartoon short in front of it, 5 minutes or less. And then the countdown, there's a movie. Because I don't play 2 movies on Tuesday nights because, most of y'all got to work. It's a weekday night, but still, we celebrate. Watch a movie. And then Saturday, I haven't come up with anything yet. But it's gonna be juicy. I love doing my movies, y'all. Juicy. Juicy fruit. Y'all know that song? Whoa, whoa, whoa. It may not always be complete truth, but I do feel there's something to it. Yep, so I had to read that again. Exactly. So, we had a wonderful chat today, a discussion actually with each other. And if y'all have any special requests on what you'd want to chat about, let me know. My email, I've always sent my email in there and let me know. Send it to me in my YouTube channel, or you can feel free to send me an email at lovely. I want to be reachable. I want y'all to be able to reach me. I don't want y'all to feel you can never be in touch with me. That you can't, that I won't respond or whatever. So here's my email. Send me an email. I always put that out there. If there's any movie suggestions, or if there are any issues, or if there's any advice, or if there's whatever is on your mind. Recommendations for movies and stuff, cartoons. And I'll be more than happy to look at it and reply to you within definitely 24 hours, at least probably. Sometimes you'll get a reply from me just like that. And then I just want to thank you so much. So we got that coming up. We have Tuesday. And then we have Wednesday book reading, and then we have again Friday night, probably Friday night. We have Hot Mike Hubby if Hubby feels like it, or just do live chat. And then Mike Aldana said I'm pretty open with any topics that we discuss. Yeah, because I thank you, Mike. I just wanted to flow because when you all take that, then it inspires me to talk. You know what I'm saying? I just could flow with you. And I try to make sure that I talk about what you all want to talk about. And if I end up kind of drifting away, just bring me back on topic. Ask that question or share your opinion, because your opinions are very amazing. As a matter of fact, I went to the chat replay of our last live chat, and I read the replay. The reason why I read it, because I wanted to relearn some things I might have forgotten, the things that you all said. And I wanted to learn it, to remember those gems, those little diamonds, little golden nuggets and silver. Good stuff. Thank you so much for being with me. I don't feel alone. Thank you so much. And I was just looking at that cute little dart thing that April sent. I love that. To Coyote, it's like a little thing, a little dart there, going, that's cute. I didn't see that. A lot of emojis. I didn't know that was there. That's available. Well, anyway, I could talk to y'all all night. Y'all know I almost have talked to y'all almost all night. So, love you all so much. And we'll meet again. And if there's a special night where you want to have a live chat and you don't see it scheduled, let me know. And I'll see if I can do it. If I can, I'll say, I'm sorry, I can't. But if I can, I will try, okay? All right, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here with Rhonda's lovely sparks. And I'll see you again soon.